born in Rampur, which is a small town in Uttar Pradesh. And then for college, I moved to Delhi, and it has been a very new, very challenging experience. So I really took my time. I read a lot. I heard a lot of people speaking. I looked at various opinions, and I think, like, in my second year of college, I became a really opinionated and vocal student of the class. Ambition towards academics in general comes from my mom, who has always motivated me to do everything. She just told me that to reach that place where you can excel in music or dance, you need to go places, and your access to those places will be provided to you by your academic proficiency. Related to this, something which I often use in my classroom is that you don't feel that marks are really important parameters to judge a person, which is extremely true. But like, to actually challenge and change the system, we really need to equip ourselves to reach a place where we can challenge a lot of people in power. I've always told them to, like, talk to their parents about what they want to become and what their dreams are, but not very vaguely, because when you tell your parents that I want to become a dancer, they might not understand it. As an educated child, we also need to understand where our parents are coming from, and it's really important for us to acknowledge that fact that even if our parents didn't know about any of it, they're still willing to send us to school. You really need to show them a lot of things with respect to outcomes, to maybe make them believe in your dreams. When I entered my classroom for the very first time, I heard a lot of them speaking about that we have not covered anything in SST, we have not covered anything in English because we just didn't have a teacher. So my focus ultimately got down to academics, and I was only focusing on content. I just ignored the fact that how I needed to build relationship first. Just a week prior to SA1, one of my students went up to my co-fellow and told him that दीदी पता नहीं क्लास में क्या करा रही हैं, हमें कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा है. And that was the time I really felt bad. We did expectation setting. Students told me a lot about what they expect out of me. I told the students what I expect out of them, and I think that really changed the entire equation. Like, I came back to the classroom really strong, pulling myself back from hardcore content to actually coming to what in that content is actually relevant for the students right now. So I think that was all driven by a lot of self-questioning, a lot of video watching, a lot of debates in the classroom. They are free to move from one place to another. If they think at any point of time their opinion is changed. So I think that gives them a lot of opportunity to think about things critically from different lenses, and then make an opinion for themselves. After every 3 months, we would change the LCs altogether, which would give students time to interact with other students and build that relationship with other students, where they can actually help each other out and hold each other accountable and responsible for their learning and their group's learning. During November, December, I faced another challenge in my class, which I did foresee. Everybody told me that our students were really supportive of each other, they would really encourage each other, but I was seeing extremely opposite of it. It was very important that point of time for us to make them realize that their classmates are the one who helped them grow. So there's no point being jealous of each other. We really need to appreciate each other. Maybe we really need to learn from people who are actually trying to create opportunities for themselves. During January, when we actually came up with this idea of Sitara, that helped mobilize a lot of students of the class. We only had 2 days before putting up a stall. So it really came together, helped Tanu out. Some of them also joined her during the city conference. Till grade 8th, they were active participants of things owned by other people. That very idea that you can own things where people can be part of your own projects has really led their morale to go up. It's just about making students believe that they can do it, because most of the time they're just sidelined. I have really leveraged those spaces of sharing, opening, closing, and recess, to be very honest, to build that relationship with all the students. My high points have always been defined by the high points in my students' life, and low points have always been defined by the low points in my students' life. Like, seeing them sad has made me sad, seeing them happy has made me happy, and I think that is where all my interventions also come from. As a part of my family also, I know that a lot of people are always counting on me. And I think even in the classroom, because I wanted the space to be really safe for students and for myself, I think that sense of responsibility got aggravated, because I like creating ways for myself. I like choosing things for myself. I really want that people around me should also have that space where they can choose for themselves and they can create spaces for themselves. I think that rational building is very important in the students of this age, because it's only when that is built, students are able to choose for themselves better, irrespective of following the path which people are creating for them. Yeah, I think a lot of secondary grade fellows do struggle with this idea of what to teach, what not to teach in the class. It's very important for us as fellows to do our research by going through different chapters and actually picking up what do we actually want to deliver through this chapter, because not everything in the chapter is important. Most of the secondary grade fellows, when we came together, discussed about how we really need to cut down on morning meetings, closing meetings, because that just leads to a lot of distraction in kids. Just taking those spaces away from them had actually led to a lot of stress building in them. And I think apart from the idea of how content should be taught in class, those ideas around structures of what to give to kids and what not to give to kids also changed over a period of time. Students start feeling more burdened when they see their fellows being burdened. I really observed this in grade 9th when I was teaching there, because I used to be so stressed about completing the syllabus. The idea of collaboration, not just with students but also in the fellows across city, also helped us as fellows to become efficient in our teaching and planning process, and in turn helped our students in our classroom. That free and open space, and that again that interplay of power dynamics where we are not scared to raise up our voices or opinions about anything in front of the staff team, has really helped us grow as Delhi city, because there's so many people coming with different ideas. I think a lot of people connect to each other, and because these ideas are so strong, and because there are people who can actually take responsibility and ownership of these ideas, we actually bring these ideas into structures which are actually functioning in the city. A lot of time in the fellowship, I have had lows, or I have felt really terrible, is when a lot of things started piling up. And I think those spaces which have just let me to calm down, to stop and think back on what I have achieved, has really helped me grow in the process. Similarly, what has not worked for me are all those spaces which have been very rigid. I really wanted my classes to be free-flowing spaces where students can just share their opinions and talk about a lot of things and come to conclusions. People should be able to express what they are doing, and it can be through words, through drawings, through writings. A word after a word after a word is power. That expression, that idea, I think is what I wanted to build in my class, and my class in reciprocation has helped me enhance it really well in myself.